How you doing? Mike Perry. I'm out scouting here in some public land in Pennsylvania, and it is the 12th of October, and I'm going to talk about something that's not anything that's groundbreaking, and I know a lot of guys are already doing this, but there's always news people watching. And but one thing that I like to do when I'm hunting is the total element of surprise, and a way to have an element of surprise on the deer is by using water to access your stand sites. So where I am here is this is an oxbow in a creek. So for those that don't know, an oxbow in the creek is where a creek basically comes up and does a horseshoe around. And what happens is on the down, I guess you'd call it downstream side of the creek, over time, the gravel gets deposited when it comes out of that bend, and it builds up. And that's how you end up with like these riffles like this. And this is a high bank creek. It's really deep in most places, and most guys never get over and hunt on the other side of this creek where I'm going to be hunting at. I rarely see people over there because guys are afraid. And the fact that guys are afraid of water, that's a good thing if you're not afraid of water. So, and then the other really good thing about oxbows is, for whatever reason, the very tip of them, which would be right up in here, the deer, all the trails seem to come and congregate like it's the shortest way between two passes. So I've shot a lot of bucks right on bends in creeks. So that basically what happens is this creek is actually right over there. There's a willow tree. It goes up, comes around, and comes back down, goes around like that, bends back out, but this is a big U in it. And where that land is right up there is a killer place to hunt, especially during a rut, because it's basically even like a funnel that you would find when you look at a topo map, because you know it's all surrounded by woods and thicket, but it's actually a funnel because it funnels deer through that area because of the way this creek bends. And what I find all the time in these, right on the bends in these creeks, is several trails converge, and where there's high traffic areas, you're going to have a lot of doe activity. And when you have a lot of doe activity, you're going to have buck activity. So what happens is you find a lot of scrapes on these bends in these creeks. And what I like to do is find a place where this is what I've done for 30 years. I find something that works, and I try to replicate it as many times as I can. That way I'm not always hunting the same spots. So I have places like this where I can cross the creek and I can go up on this, straight up this bank, just stay right along the very edge and get up in a tree right there. And I have a scrape line coming through here, and I can hunt that. And the deer, I could hunt it 7 days in a row if I wanted to. Most of the time, they're never gonna know I'm there. As long as I got the wind blowing anywhere towards this creek, it'll get into this creek and stay away from the deer. But the nice thing about having a bunch of spots like this is, you know, you're not burning one place out at all. And if you have a real big buck and you think you're real close to getting them, don't be afraid to hunt it 3 or 4 days in a row, you know, in late October, early November. That's just something to keep in mind. Try to access by water, hunt real close to the edge of the water, and try to hunt on outside of the bends.